Hey, it's Ducky, and today we're going to be drawing some cute people from Pinterest. I have my phone with my references on, and I just really need to learn how to stylize and draw people, so that's what we're doing. I already sketched out the initial sketches, and now I'm going to go over them with some colored pencils so that the graphite doesn't smudge when I use my alcohol markers. So let's get into it. From what I've learned is you do not want to use graphite pencils for your outlines when you're using alcohol markers, because they can smudge the graphite and it makes it look really muddy. So I always do my sketches in graphite because I find it easier to rub out graphite than colour pencil, but then I go over in the coloured pencils so that it doesn't smudge. And I also find that if you've lightly rubbed out your graphite pencil and then you draw on top of it with coloured pencil and then you go back over to rub it out, the coloured pencil stays but the graphite disappears. And you want to keep your pencil sharpened so that you have crisper lines. Okay, now we're on to colouring in. So of course I will have my Pinterest link down below with the board that I have all my sketchbook references in. Okay, I have realised I've forgotten to do my underpainting that I love to do, so that's basically just blocking in where any of the shadows are. This is definitely the pen I use the most, and it is definitely already starting to run out, which isn't great. Actually, you know what, I might try seeing if turning this around helps, because if you didn't know, the Ahua markers have a second nib inside them, so that when they start getting a bit old and frayed, you can get a brand new nib. Okay, that's definitely looking better, but it still isn't the juiciest, so this is probably the first one I'll have to replace. I'm pretty sure you can get replacements of Ahuas, but I can't completely remember, so I'll need to look into that. But can you see how much an underpainting is already starting to bring this drawing to life, and I've done barely anything. Okay, I've just looked and you can get a refill for the CG2, I think. That is good to know, and I will probably have to do that at some point. Now this is where I really struggle, is the skin tones. I'm still really learning how to do skin tones. Alright, I'm gonna give a go and see if I can put our 18 over and see if that makes it less pink. No. Let's try GY173 and see if that changes the colour a bit. Okay, I know this one goes down more green. I think I might have made her skin too dark now. I don't know. If I go back in with the R19 and maybe just do some shading. Okay, I think I need to leave that and let that dry, and then I can go back to it. You can probably tell I'm not copying the pattern of the dots, I'm just doing the dots here and there. And then it's hard to tell, but I think I'm going to use a dark blue for the darker spot. I'm realising now I think the spots are actually just holes in the trousers. But I've already done this now, so this will have to do. Or it's just shadow. So while I'm filming this, the last video that went up on my channel was the first draw this in your... no, what's it called? Draw your own adventure video, which is obviously also the first one I did in this style where I was talking, and I was so nervous about that video, and like editing it I really wasn't sure, but I've got some really nice comments on it, especially from my mutuals, which is just so nice because I was so anxious. F&D, like, it's functional neurological disorder, fucking sucks, man. Like, it actually sucks. Like, my body just one day decided to start sending the wrong signals, and now I have paralysis episodes and seizures and chronic fatigue and tics and tremors, and I never know whether I'm gonna get them that day or if I'm gonna be okay. And of course also the chronic pain that never goes away is always there. And of course it's a condition that mainly affects women, so there's very little research done. Shocker. And it's also one of those where it definitely feels like a bit of an umbrella diagnosis. You know, it's one of those conditions where you get diagnosed with it and it's kind of like a, oh well, that's you for the rest of the life. There's not enough research into how to help it, and the places that can help it are so few and far in between, and it's one of those where the same thing doesn't work for everyone, so that also makes it difficult to get help because you don't know what's going to help you and what's not going to help you. And doctors also will ignore other health problems because you've got functional neurological disorder, which isn't great. I would definitely prefer if they didn't do that. Like, I was told that I most likely have POT, but it's basically what causes me to be susceptible to fainting. I don't actually faint, I normally just get see, this is a problem. Everything has horrible words that I can never remember. Problem with all these bits is that they're all very similar colours, so I need to find ways to make them stand out from each other and not just all blend into one. I'm definitely going to have to do some line work on this, I think. Okay, I'm just going to try and do lots of dots and see if that gives the glittery effect that this bag has. Those dots just seem to be blending in, so maybe I need to let it dry. Okay, we're nearly done with this first one. A hero portion, I feel like I am definitely going to need to do some line work on this one. I don't know if you've seen the tattoo technique where people do glitter tattoos. That's kind of where I've learned how to do a glitter technique from, so I'm just going to try and emulate that. I don't know how well this is going to go. I don't think I've ever actually done this before. Just trying to add some of those shadows back in. Right, I think it's time for the highlights. So this hat has some pearls, so I'm just going to, or at least it looks like pearls, so I'm just going to put them in with my white highlight pen. Right, I have seen that people say that the white on the glitter effect is what gives it the glitter effect, so hopefully this will pull the bag together and make it look glittery. And you know what? I think it is actually starting to look somewhat glittery. No, it certainly doesn't look perfect, but it does look quite good. Right, let's try and get some more definition in this hair. Okay, I'm not super happy with those outlines, but it is what it is. Time to move on to the next one. We are on to number 2. If you couldn't tell, I'd gone for the maximalist themed outfits for today. I must say I love maximalist themed outfits and such, but I don't think it's for me. I am very much a goth who likes black with a bit of colour. I am going to just colour in, outline the top and such with grey, just because there's kind of too many colours for me to be able to just do the coloured outlines. I'm definitely trying to be more careful that I am not talking over any rustling and while I'm trying to find a pen or something, because I didn't realize quite how off-putting that was in the first video until I was editing. So yeah. Oh my god, it was sunny when I woke up and now it's raining. I would like to say, while I am drawing someone with Crocs, it does not mean I agree with Crocs. I must say I am only now realizing that I chose not to draw the hands for most of these people. Clearly I decided I would just let future me deal with that, which now that I am dealing with that, it is very annoying. I'm not quite so confident about this one, but we'll give it a go anyway. I nearly forgot my underpainting again. Although I'm really not sure whether I'm going to be able to do underpaintings with this pen for the entire page, which is upsetting. Okay, interesting. This pencil is smudging quite a lot, and I don't know why. Because like, I have watercolour pencils here that don't smudge, so I'm not too sure why that is. And it's not raining again, it's sunny again. I do not understand the weather. It's just British weather for you, I guess, though. Trying to rely on natural daylight in the UK for filming videos is an absolute nightmare. I don't know how people do it, especially people who like also have to record around work. Like, hats off to you, because I am exhausted just doing this, and I still keep forgetting to post on Instagram and like make shorts, and I just do not know how people who work full-time or even part-time on top of doing YouTube videos do it. I know I'm disabled, so that like takes up a lot of my energy, but like, you guys are insane. I'm not too sure how I'm gonna make this look fluffy, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I've been sat here wondering why I'm thirsty. No, why I've got a headache, and it's because I've drunk like nothing today. So might need to drink some water. I just realized I got distracted and only did my underpainting on my skirt. And if you're watching how I colour things in and thinking it's a little bit chaotic, you're a little bit all over the place, I am currently waiting for an autism diagnosis, and on top of that, yes, I have now, whilst waiting for an autism diagnosis, realised I probably should also be getting looked into to see if I have ADHD. But yes, it does explain a lot. I feel like it's very common for people with autism and ADHD to accept that they have one of them and start looking into getting help and a diagnosis, and then whilst they're waiting for that diagnosis, realizing they have the other. Part of me is like, I don't know if I can be bothered to go through the wait times and such for an ADHD diagnosis as well, but at the same time, I also know that obviously there's not any medication really that can treat autism, like not properly anyway, but there is medication that can treat ADHD, so like, is that something I want to look into? I don't know. It's difficult. And like, now I've dealt with having really bad side effects, like physical side effects from medication, it's making me a lot less happy to just try new medication like I used to be. That was not the colour I thought I was putting on there. And we're now back to trying to work out how to do skin tone. This is definitely not the right colour, but I'm just going to put it down first and see where I can go from there. Like, sometimes I feel like I've really got somewhere with my skin tones, with these colours, and then other times I feel like I'm right back at the beginning. I think I'm going to go over it with this colour, and then I'm going to add this colour on top to kind of shade the face. Oh, I'm not sure about this. I've committed to it now. Maybe I can blend it out. Okay, that's kind of starting to look a little bit less crazy, I think, maybe. I don't know. Okay, I've got the colours for their shirt. I feel like this top is very much a trust the process kind of thing. And I'm also realizing I put red there and I should have put purple, but oh well. Can't change it now. Now that I'm putting these colours down, I don't feel like I've got a very good match, but that will just have to do, I guess. Okay, I'm actually quite happy with how the top came out. It's not perfect, but I don't think that really matters. I'm just gonna do a grey phone so it doesn't get lost in along with everything. I really should have looked up each of these people's actual accounts and looked up their pronouns before I started this. So onto the socks or tights, whichever they are. I'm not putting tons of effort into getting these giblets 100% because they are tiny. And I think we're already at highlights and liner time, so let's get on with that. I both love and hate doing line work. Like, it often makes a piece look really good. Oh my god, am I bad at it. And it's so nerve-wracking. Like, it feels like you're just about to either ruin or complete a piece. Okay, those hands, we're gonna ignore the hands. Otherwise, it came out quite cute. Not perfect, but cute enough. And we're on to the third person, and it is super sunny now. I might even have to open my window in a minute because it is getting a bit warm. Actually, I'm gonna open my window now. I'll be back in a second. So, sorry if there is any noises from outside. Currently, it is just the birds and some background traffic. So maybe it will be ASMR style. What is the weather like where you live at the moment? Because for me, it's all over the place. Like, yesterday was completely overcast and rainy, and now today is like beautiful sunshine, and it's just been like that constantly. Okay, I've done the proportions a little bit wrong, so while this person doesn't have their belly button out, I'm going to draw it with their belly button out because I done fucked up. And again, I left the hands for me to work out now instead of when I did the drawings. Now we're on to the favourite part. I forgot my underpainting again. Okay, I've finished my underpainting, so now I can go back to the pillar. It has been a couple of days since I was last filming. My partner got here. I thought I was going to finish the video before they got here, but they didn't. And then we both came down with a really nasty cold. I still probably sound like shit. My voice hurt. No, my throat hurts. My brain is completely numb. And all I really want to do is curl up in a ball and die. That's not really an option, so I'm going to finish filming this video so that I can edit the video for tomorrow, and I will just be staying in bed all day today, filming, editing, very simple, easy things because I am exhausted. So I don't know how talkative this part of the video is going to be, so obviously, I think this is meant to be a cosplay of Finn from Adventure Time. Did anyone else watch that obsessively when they were a kid? Because I don't think I was even a kid when I watched it. I was more like a teenager because I don't think I had access to Adventure Time until I was a teenager. So teenage me loved Adventure Time. I must say, I really love this little rope cage thing they've got going on. I think from the looks of the photo, it's like crochet or knitted. I'd love to learn how to knit or crochet, but I just don't have the time or patience at the moment. I have really been putting off this skin tone, but I think I might have found a combination that works. At least it worked on my test strip, my little test piece of paper. Now this is going to look really far too brown for a second for their skin tone, but when you add this on top, okay, never mind, that is a completely different colour to what is on my test piece. See how much lighter this is? That's what I was expecting. Well, I guess that's going to be their skin tone. This is the problem with Ahura markers. I am still really learning about skin tones and such. And this is why you also don't test on paper that is different to the paper you're using, because the colours will sit differently and they will look differently, and I know that, and yet I still do it. Oh, it's looking quite sunny outside. And I didn't think about the fact that there would also need to be shadows, so of course this is going to make it even darker. I've also just realised my sketch is like, the eyes are looking in a different direction. Can I fix it? Possibly. White gel pen to the rescue. Possibly, if it's going to work. Yeah, this drawing definitely hasn't gone to plan. Okay, now we're on to the line work. Right, I've just realised I haven't actually done the shoes, so I'm just going to quickly do those. My hand is really cramping after that, and I'm also going to try and fix the skin tone with some pencils. We'll see how this goes. Okay, it's definitely looking closer. I wouldn't say it looks great. Okay, I think that's the best we're gonna get. I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, this is the next one, and I'm really excited for this one. I love the colours and the poofy skirt and the leg warmers. It's like my fashion taste, but just bright instead of black. Man, my voice is going real bad. Okay, this little guy is looking a lot more cursed than it is in the original, but oh well, I guess. On this pink, I'm just using the exact same colour and just using it to deepen some of these values and give some shading. When I'm doing shading like this, it's quite difficult to see until the marker has dried as to whether it's actually made a difference or not. Because sometimes, some colours it just kind of blends into each other, into itself, and others build quite well. So obviously a lot of this character is pink, or this person, sorry. So I want to make sure that it isn't all just blending into one another. And you can kind of see the difference in colours. Apologies about the lighting. The weather just cannot make its mind up today. Okay, I was hesitant to use this colour because it is the colour that I used on the jacket, but it does look like this is the right colour and it isn't blending in with the jumper because it's layered with other colours. Right, I think I'm starting on the fluffies. Also, what do you call these? Because I'm pretty sure everyone has a different name for these leg warmer thingies. To me, I've always kind of called them fluffies or just leg warmers. But I'm curious what everyone else calls them. I'm doing a similar kind of colouring technique as I did on the little bag thing. I'm not too sure what it's supposed to be. Maybe just a little monster. Where kind of in the shadows I'm doing like a thicker bit of colour, and then I slowly kind of go out to like dots and scribbles, and then I'll fill it in with a lighter colour. And I'm going to go in with an even lighter colour for this bit. And yeah, I feel like that's really giving those fluffy wet leg warmer kind of vibe. It's not super realistic, but I'm not really trying to go for super realistic. I don't know if I've said, but I'm trying to get better at stylizing people, which is why I'm doing this. Right, and now the tutu. I am definitely realizing doing this person that how many of these pinks I've got that are really, really similar. And there's this little bit of black poking through here. I haven't used a straight black. This is more of a, it's a dark grey. I don't tend to use straight black with many of my... And yet again, I have been really putting off doing the skin tone. We are gonna again try to mix two colours. I don't know how this is gonna go. Wish me luck. It might end up too dark. I feel like the skin tone I'm trying to do is giving off a green tone, and I don't know why. It's not meant to be coming up as green, but I do think it is really looking very green. One thing this page has really shown me is that I do really need to work on my hands again. I have been putting off doing the hands or hiding the hands as much as possible. Which just means one thing: I don't feel comfortable doing them, I don't feel confident doing them, and that's exactly how I felt doing the hands for all of these people. Alright, let's do this necklace. And let's try R1 for lip. I think that might actually be quite a good match to the lip colour in the picture, actually. Alright, while I'm waiting for that one to dry, I have realised I haven't actually done any white highlights on this one, so let's just do that quickly. I forgot I was meant to be doing white stitching on this. Yeah, that looks so much better. I'm so glad I did that. Right, I think it's time for line work. And now white highlight time. That's done. I'm gonna go and finish up, do some finishing touches to the background, and then I'll be... Okay, so here's the final pages. I have looked up these people's ats. So for these three, I've got their Instagram, and this one, I think they're only on TikTok. I can find them on Instagram, so there's their TikTok. And let me know how you think. I love how they came out. They're not perfect, you know, some of the skin tones aren't great, but I'm learning, so I'm getting there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!